Stephen Kinnock.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Good jobs and decent working conditions have always been central to the Labour Party's core mission. Prosperity and patriotism are the mutually reinforcing foundations upon which our labour movement is based. And whilst we on these benches recognise that good pay is utterly crucial, we also know that work is about dignity, pride and contribution. It's about being part of something bigger. Madam Deputy Speaker, in my Aberavon constituency, I see this desire to be part of something bigger every day. From the NHS workers who've saved so many lives, to the manufacturers who have provided them with PPE, to the steel workers who have continued to build the foundations of our modern economy. And yet, over the last 11 years, we have seen an exponential increase in insecurity across all sectors of our economy. From the 2 in 5 adult workers who don't yet know their shift hours for next week, to the exploited gig economy workers denied holiday pay, to the workers sacked by British Gas and then rehired on worse conditions, to the high street workers with the threat of internet shopping looming over them, to the factory workers who could be the latest victims in the erosion of our manufacturing base that we've seen over the last 11 years. British workers are the greatest asset that this country has, and yet successive Conservative governments have utterly failed to value their contribution. Now, many on the benches opposite celebrate flexibility and fluidity, yet flexibility without real choice means insecurity, and fluidity without proper investment in reskilling means mass unemployment. Madam Deputy Speaker, tackling insecurity at work should therefore be a top priority for any government. So where on earth is the long-promised employment bill? Its omission from this Queen's speech is simply unforgivable. Madam Deputy Speaker, it's important that we recognise that during the pandemic, 50% of the workforce didn't work a single day from home. It's many of these workers who are still going into work or who've been furloughed who are the most likely to be at the sharp end of the job market, with their jobs often most at risk from automation, the digital economy and a green revolution. It is these trends, and crucially how the government responds to them, that will define Britain's success in the years ahead. Of course, the trade union movement must be at the heart of this response. The modern job market will evolve, but the basic principle will always remain. The most productive and competitive companies are those which give their workforce a strong voice. Good industrial relations deliver good business results. I therefore suggest that there should be 3 core principles at the heart of the government's response. First, dignity at work, with new legislation protecting rights of employees, not least to outlaw fire and rehire. Second, partnering with business and trade unions for a new kind of growth to deliver the jobs of the future, recognising where Britain can be competitive, but also that less celebrated foundational industries like steel are critical for our security. Third, a properly resourced programme of training and retraining aimed at the jobs of the future. Because there's no point trying to address the productivity crisis if you keep cutting the workforce out of the conversation. There's no point investing in further education if the jobs aren't there. And there's no point in decarbonising our industrial base if the local workforce isn't trained up and jobs and carbon emissions are simply offshored. Madam Deputy Speaker, as my honourable friend, the Shadow Chancellor, so rightly said, our communities don't need sloganeering about levelling up. They need good jobs. Good jobs you can raise a family on. Thank you.